ABC, it is Old Metal Rocker 65. I have a collections update video, only not vinyl, not CDs, and not cassettes. It's kind of one of these I don't show. In fact, you don't see much of the VC showing much of these anymore. I remember back in, the early 2000s up to about 2012, every band was putting these out, talking about DVDs and Blu-rays. Yes, the collections series is on DVDs, and this is going to be 5 videos. Hope you don't get bored, but you got a comment, leave them below. And but yeah, so today I did a little bit of rearranging, and I've been wanting to do DVDs and Blu-rays for the longest time. I don't think I've ever really shown a lot of my DVDs or Blu-rays in the past. Maybe here and there, maybe, but not actually all of them. And I mean, I do have quite a few. I used to play them a lot when I first got them. You know, I haven't probably played a DVD or a Blu-ray in probably years. But as is, I want to show you what I have, and you know, see what you think. Anyway, like I say, it's quite extensive, so this is number 1 here. And of course, we're going to start in alphabetical order, with A's, of course. We got our first brutal Arctic blast of the year this week. I think our high today was a -3 below. Tomorrow is not going to be any warmer. In fact, it's supposed to be colder. And lows, I think, are going to get down to 15 below here, at least. Up north might get down to 20, 25 below. But and then it warms up. So anyway, let's get started. First off, what's playing is Golden Earring Switch from 1974. In my opinion, yeah, we know about Radar Love, all that, you know, but there was so much more to Golden Earring than just that song and that particular album. This album here, Switch, is my favorite album from these guys. This thing is heavy, got a lot of good tracks on there. I never see anybody ever talk about Golden Earring much, but probably going to be a collection series video coming. Anyway, Golden Earring Switch. So we're starting off here with AC/DC, of course. Number 1, I have AC/DC live at River Plate. Yeah, River Plate. This is a DVD, 2 hours, 20 minutes long. I mean, it's got a lot of the old tracks, as well as a few newer stuff. And this came out in 2011, so not a bad DVD at all. And then we have, I don't know if I grabbed that one up there or not. I thought I had one up there. I do not. Anyway, we have AC/DC Plug Me In DVD. It's a 2 DVD set from concerts in 75 to 79 and 81 to 2003. But love the AC/DC. And yet we have more AC/DC live at Donington. This is a killer concert here on DVD. But good concert. And then we have AC/DC Let There Be Rock, kind of a documentary concert film, you know. And but it's pretty cool. Oh, they did this, of course, with Bon Scott in there. But remastered AC/DC's famed '79 Paris concert. So that's what this is. Killer stuff. And yet more AC/DC. Of course, I got Family Jewels. This is really a killer set too. 2 DVD set. A lot of it is from 1990 back to 75, you know. But another good set. And we got also this one here, another AC/DC is. This is special TV appearances filmed and recorded live in different locations in Europe and the USA. Highway to Hell. Put out by Chrysalis. And great stuff here. Love the early AC/DC. And then we have Agent Steel with Mad Locust Rising. First ever DVD release to feature Kings of Speed Metal. Agent Steel. And then we have Artillery with One Foot in the Grave, the other one in trash. Killer set. Kind of neat. Just it kind of pulls out like this here. You know, you don't see many of them like this, but I thought it was kind of neat. It's a killer concert. Love these guys. They're about due for some new music as well. Hopefully in 2025 we'll get some new Artillery. And then we have some April Wine live in London. I got to see these guys in Duluth, Minnesota in I think it was 1978 or 79. They opened for Blue Oyster Cult and the Godzilla tour. So, and a story is they were staying downtown the day of the concert, and I happened to just got paid that day. I already had a ticket for the concert, and I walked downtown. I was in the Coast Guard at the time, and I just, you know, I had to walk maybe half a mile. I lived across the bridge on Park Point, and I walked uptown. I was going to look for some new music since it was payday, or buy a bunch of new stuff, and I happened to go up to the first floor where there was a record store up there, and I didn't find nothing, so I went back down, and the door opened, and here was the whole band, April Wine, in the elevator. Got to shake their hand and everything, and said I'd be at the concert tonight. And yeah, went into the other store and looked for more April Wine. So yeah, cool. This is a really killer concert. And then we have some Angra, Angels Cry 20th Anniversary Tour. Some killer stuff. This has a few special guests. Uli John Roth is on this one actually. Tara does some vocals on here. The Lima family, and you know, just it was recorded in Sao Paulo on August 25th of 2013. So it's about 11 years old. So yeah, it was probably right around that time where these kind of dropped off the market really quickly. I mean, you can still buy the DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm sure bands still put them out, but they aren't as frequent as they used to be, believe me. Which I'm glad, because I bought a lot. Anyway, so now we have another uh, Anvil, the story of Anvil, and kind of renewed my interest back into Anvil when they come out with this, you know, and it actually renewed interest for a lot of other fans as well, you know, and they're still putting out heavy metal, you know, but yeah, some Anvil. And then we have one of my favorite bands of the 90s. They started in the late 80s, but really didn't put anything out. I think it wasn't until 90. I'm talking about Annihilator. And live at Masters of Rock. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this has Dave, most of it has Dave Patton on vocals, you know. He never was one of my favorite vocalists as far as being an Annihilator. He really took him a long time to grow on me. But I think it was probably the last couple of albums, he kind of was getting away from that newer metal vocal styling and kind of going into more of an original heavy metal vocal style. But you know, after that, I think he lasted maybe 4 albums, but this is still pretty good. He does a lot of the older stuff really good. And he does a lot. They do King of the Kill, Blackest Day, Clown Parade, Set the World on Fire, a lot of the older stuff. You know, so I think Dave Patton was just coming in, I think, to Annihilator at that time. And then I have Annihilator, 10 Years in Hell. This is really a good set. I mean, this has a 2-disc set. I thought one of them was live at Hellfest, I thought, in France. I thought one of these was that. Can't remember. Anyway, or was it this one here? No, it wasn't this one. I could have swore it was this one. But anyway, this is really good. Very killer. Of course, I still believe it still has Dave Patton mostly on vocals here as well. Got to get a brand new one here. This one broke. But anyway, come on, baby, get in there. It's kind of the first one I've ever had that was broke. I didn't even realize it broke like this. There we go. Weird. Yeah, I'll get it later. Anyway, so now, from a band that's still together, still putting out killer music, female fronted. I'm still waiting on their last Kickstarter I kicked in on. It's been well over a year now, and I'm not sure about if I'll continue on with the Kickstarter program with them for how long these have been taking, but and I understand, yes, it takes a lot to do a really killer package, but well over a year. I should take that back. The Warning's last album, they recorded during when COVID was just starting to ramp its ugly head, and that took 2.5 years from when I kickstarted that program as well. It took 2.5 years, so I guess I shouldn't be that hard, but yeah, this was probably right at the end, or close to the end, I think. What are we in 2020, coming up on 2025, so what? It's been 2 years, 3 years almost removed from COVID, 2 years really removed. But Sound of Thunder, of course, this is autographed, live from the Dead side. They wrote or autographed this for me to DJ Metal War God Cheers. I've interviewed these guys a few times when I was doing radio shows and stuff, but great stuff, female fronted. And then Pat Benatar, live in New Haven, Connecticut. This is actually one of the first DVDs I started buying in the early days when I started collecting, and this is right up there, one of the first ones. Very close to one of the first ones anyway, but this is really good. Her husband, what the heck, Neil Giraldo, really shines on this. The original drummer, just killer on this. This is a really good concert from Pat Benatar. All her good stuff. And then we have Brainstorm here, and I should have showed this in my the collection series I just posted here a couple days ago on Brainstorm. It might have been yesterday, and I totally forgot about this. But here is Brainstorm, Honey from the Bees, live blasting around the bus. Early days, some of the early Brainstorm. This was from, let's see, what year was this? This came out in 2007, so yeah, it's some of the early stuff from Brainstorm. Probably right around Ambiguity, the couple right after that, probably right in that general area. So, good stuff here. And then we have some BCC, Black Country Communion, live over Europe. I'm a messenger. This is my prophecy. Killer stuff. If you like Black Country Communion, I do. I don't have the latest, but I'm sure I'll get it. Good stuff here. And then we have some Southern rock. I love these guys. I'm missing a few of their albums, but these guys really, they've been around a long time. Well over 20 years now. I think it was either last year or right at the beginning of this year, they had lost, what was their keyboardist or their drummer? I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the keyboardist. No, I think it was the drummer. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Blackberry Smoke. I mean, if you like Leonard Skinner, if you like Molly Hatchet, Outlaws, stuff like that, you'll like Blackberry Smoke. And then we have some Blue Oyster Cult, the 45th anniversary, live in London. This is a Blu-ray. This is killer. Huge Blue Oyster Cult fan. You name it, I have it probably. But this is killer. And I'm just trying to see if this has this. Yes, it does. It does have, in my opinion, one of the best songs they've ever done. And Then Came the Last Days of May, especially the live version, just phenomenal. This is on here at 10 minutes and 34 seconds. Every time I've seen them, they've played it. I mean, Buck just absolutely shines on that song. And then we have A Long Day's Night, Blue Oyster Cult on DVD. And there was one of these, and it does have it on here too. I think this was, if I'm not mistaken, when I did my BOC update or collections series, I thought there was one there was only one format that this was live on this particular release. And I think the DVD was the only release that had the Last Days of May on here. I don't think the live DVD did not, or the live CD didn't have it, and the album didn't have it. But this does have it on there. Weird, I don't know why. I've always wondered why they only put it on here. But this has come out in 2007 on Sanctuary. And then, this also was one of the first DVDs I ever bought when I started buying them. And this live show is actually the show I saw them at. I mean, this was recorded just about identical to just about probably all their live shows they did back in this year. And this is also Blue Oyster Cult live in '76. This is the laser light show edition of the DVD, and they played every song on here that where I saw them. That particular, I'm sure it was '76. I'm almost positive. And they played every one of these, and it was like in the summer. It was supposed to be for Dakota Jam 4, I believe, outdoor concert at the Red River Valley Fair in Fargo, North Dakota. And there were 6 of us on our way up there, and they had announced on Rock Station that they were moving the concert indoors to the Showlander Pavilion, and if you wanted to get in, and if you weren't there, you better hurry, because they were only allowing a few thousand, and that was it. Well, luckily we made it, and this is almost identical to the show that's on this DVD. Good stuff. And then we have Cream. Their fully authorized story in a 2-disc deluxe set includes previously unreleased audio tracks from when '67 actually. Killer. I don't have a lot of Cream on vinyl. I do have some. But yeah, good stuff here. And then we have a band out of the '70s that was kind of came out around the when New Wave was really starting to peak back in the '70s. Punk and New Wave, you know. And this band was kind of part of that New Wave movement, but they still put out 3 really killer albums, and I mean they got played and played and played, and I mean they still get played, but I don't play them as much as I used to. I'm talking about the Cars and Unlocked live performances, and of course this has all the original members: Rick Ocasek, Benjamin Orr, rest in peace. I think, didn't we just lose Rick Ocasek here a while ago? I thought so. Elliot Easton. I know there's only a few members left. But yeah, good stuff. And then we have a band I seen live. And it was actually by accident. I used to do a lot of posting on the early days of these chat rooms and stuff, and in these heavy metal sites like No Life Till Metal, all these rooms that had different, these rooms that we used to go to. Anyway, got to get close and be good friends with Sean Peck of Cage. And I've interviewed him a few times on my radio show. Busy guy, I mean, very talented. And I got to see these guys. It was actually kind of by accident. A friend of mine actually got a hold of the band. They were playing down in Minneapolis. And they had like a 3-day, 3 days in between the next stop. And he knew Sean Peck very well too. And asked him if if he'd be interested in playing at this club in Moorhead, Minnesota. You know, I'm thinking, yeah, he probably wouldn't accept anyway, but he said, let me get back to you. I'll get back to you in about 5 minutes. He got back to him and he said, yeah, we'll come up there. We got to go to Winnipeg anyway. So it worked out good that they played in this small club in Moorhead, and, you know, there was really no publicity whatsoever. So, I mean, except word of mouth for me, a couple friends of ours, and but anyway, got to see these guys live, and got a bunch of albums signed by them, and there was maybe 15 people at this show, but it was a killer show. I mean, they slayed. In fact, I think at this show they had just gotten a new guitar player. I think a younger kid. I can't remember if it was on this or not. But anyway, yeah, killer concert. And then we have some Alice Cooper, Brutality Live. Killer stuff. I need more Alice Cooper anyway. I got to pick up some more stuff. So, getting down to the end here, guys, for number one here. And then, of course, we have, I didn't know where to put her D's, W's, P's, so I just put her where I usually put her in my CD vinyl collection, in the D's. So, she goes by Doro Pesh and Warlock Live. This came out in 2002, but this is really good, really good. And I did actually, I've seen Doro twice down in St. Paul here back in the second decade, probably 2012 maybe to 2016, 17. She played down there, and but yeah, so I got to see her. She played a lot of Warlock stuff, so cool. And then we have one of my favorite Australian bands, and I so wish I could find the original early albums from these guys, especially Aussie releases. They're so hard to find and expensive, even if you do. And so Dungeon, Under the Rising Sun, live in Japan, the Rising Power Tour. This is absolutely killer. If you don't know who Dungeon was, and Lord Tim on guitars, phenomenal power metal, heavy metal. I mean, these guys were probably one of the premier bands of their time back in Australia, and it shows. I got most of their stuff, except no vinyl. That's hard to come by. Most of it on CD. I do have, I think, one of the early original CD covers on one of the CDs I have, but this is really good. And the last one here, guys, is Dream Theater, live at Luna Park. And I really do love progressive metal, but I really got to be in that type of mood to really get into constant progressive metal. I mean, these guys are talented, no doubt about it. But sometimes it can bore me a little bit. And but this is a very good live Blu-ray of Dream Theater, and anticipatively waiting for the new one to come out. I think in January or February of 2025, and it's a return of Mike Portnoy on drums. And they've already released a few DVD, or not DVDs, but videos over on YouTube. I think one, I don't know if both of them were lyric videos. I think one was a lyric video and one was not. And very good, killer. I mean, they sounded phenomenal, and Mike Portnoy sounded great. But anyway, Dream Theater, check them out. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for episode 1 of the collections video. the DVD Blu-rays. Take care, everybody, and keep it heavy.